In this, in this session, learners will explore the terminology and vocabulary they must know before conceptualizing and designing digital games. They must understand the steps in digital game development. They must understand how a storyboard assists game developers in the creation process. And finally, how they will use the storyboard to eventually develop a game trailer and a persuasive educational digital game proposal. Important vocabulary includes artificial intelligence, which is the programming and precognition built into the game design that mirrors intelligence and is often demonstrated by the system or a virtual agent. Backstory, a story or fiction that provides a background for a game rather than being part of the gameplay. Captology is the study of computers as persuasive technologies. This includes the design, research, and program analysis of interactive computing products, such as the web and desktop software, specialized devices, etc., created for the purpose of changing people's attitudes or behaviors. Very important attributes of digital games allure. Console is used to distinguish a machine designed for consumers to buy and use solely for playing video games from a personal computer. Cutscene can either be animated or use live action footage used to break up gameplay and advance this plot or storyline. Game environment is everything your character interacts with. More important vocabulary. HUD, which stands for Heads Up Display. Anything you can see while playing a game that shows the status of the game is considered a HUD, or game data. Ludology, the study of games as a unique field. Platform refers to the specific combination of electronic and computer hardware which, in conjunction with low-level software, allows a video game to operate. The term system is also commonly used. Rules limits players' action, fits into game design to promote fairness, develop competition, etc. Storyboards is a visual organizer documenting game design and components used in the brainstorming and development phase of game creation. Walkthrough is a source or document that attempts to teach a player how to beat or solve a particular game or level. Win, lose. Potential outcomes for a game. The win state is a positive outcome while the lose state is a negative outcome. Outcomes represent the final state of a game or level. The game design process includes creating the rules of the game, the storyline, in-game environment, and gameplay. The process is considered a brainstorming stage. It calls for artistic, technical, and planning skills to accomplish this stage of game development. Why are learners creating their own game proposals? Why does game design matter? First, there's soft skills. Game design is an incubator for 21st century skills such as problem solving, creativity, system thinking, coding, design, and storytelling, to name a few. Bloom's taxonomy indicates creation as one of the highest levels of thinking. It helps learners to create a critical eye for good video games by understanding gaming elements. Lastly, doing new things in new ways helps to invigorate the learning process. The steps in digital game development include world design, which is the creation of a backstory, setting, and theme for the game, often done by a lead designer. System design is the creation of game rules and making all the components mesh together. Content design is the creation of characters, items, puzzles, and missions. Game writing, which involves writing dialogue, text, and storyline. Level design is the construction of world levels and their features. Finally, user interface design constructs the user interactions and feedback interface. Storyboards are used for planning many creative and complex products. Storyboards can help plan websites, videos, movies, comic books, podcasts, or even video games. The game storyboard is a visual organizer to help build your digital game. The main purpose of the storyboard is to help the game designer brainstorm and document game components. The storyboard contains a rudimentary script that provides the seeds for an entire storyline. The steps for storyboarding a digital learning game are as follows. Characters. Brainstorm the characters in the game. These could be the playable characters for the game or virtual agents to help your player succeed or fail. Settings. Where is the game taking place? Will it take place in multiple settings or levels? Storyline or backstory. Create a narrative that drives the game and immerses the player into the story. Dialogue. What will characters say to progress the story or provide essential information to the player just in time to win? Game manipulation. How will players interact with the game? What buttons will they push? What game platform are they playing on? Embedded content. What is the game teaching players? Finally, display. What does the game look like to the player? The interface of the game. The storyboard's art and design is conceptual, so it doesn't have to be a masterpiece. It just has to convey the ideas outlined in the storyboard in its descriptions. There are a few ways to complete the art. First, learners can draw and scan work to embed into the storyboard. Next, learners can find images online and import them into the storyboard. They just have to remember to cite the source. Finally, learners can digitally draw or design using numerous art and sketch apps. At the end, the images should complement the text of the storyboard and convey the main points of the game. The storyboard elements are as follows. Preliminary elements: designer name, game title, the genre of game, and age rating. Content objectives: what concepts or skills are being learned? Consult a curriculum guide. Characters and background. Walkthrough. So for a walkthrough, you generate a bulleted list of important aspects of gameplay. Captology, which means how does the game affect human behavior? What are the rewards? What are the consequences? How does the game help the player win and succeed? Gameplay elements. What game platform? How do players manipulate the game? What does a scene from the game look like? What game data is being generated?